304s can absolutely get married. They can absolutely get a ring. They can absolutely get married. Always have, always will. Now, if you don't want to marry a woman that's like that, then just speak for yourself. But that does not mean that there's not a man out there who won't marry her. I probably know more hoes that's married than I do women who was modest, women who were self-proclaimed good women. All right, I probably know more hoes married than them. Because one thing about it, if a man want a woman, he gonna get that woman. Question, and I need you to answer fast. Where's Taylor Swift list? Where's her meme? Where's Ariana Grande's meme? Where's Kim Kardashian's meme? No, because I need to know, especially Taylor Swift, because when Travis Kelce ended up getting with her, all I kept hearing was that he upgraded. Right? And before you say it's her money, y'all said that men don't care about money. He already got money, so why would he care about a woman that got money? Again, make sure you answer right, because I'm trying to figure out, this woman has a history of a lot of men in the industry that she's allegedly been with. Where is her meme? Why were men not encouraging him not to marry her? Why no man was saying Ariana Grande don't deserve for nobody to take her serious? She be taking people men, allegedly. All right, what was Kim Kardashian had a whole sex tape? I didn't see y'all telling Kanye don't wife it. And even if you did, it wasn't nothing like what y'all doing with Meg. At this point, I'm going to have to believe that this is because she's black. And I hate to go that route, right? I truly hate to go that route, because when the women was going around saying that y'all actually hate black women, I wanted to believe that they was playing or they was lying. But at this point, I can't deny the truth of what I'm saying. It feels like a lot of y'all self-esteem is so low, you feel so insufficient when it comes to other men, that it's like you need somebody else that you feel like that's lower than you that you can bully on. Not to say that I feel like as a black woman, I'm lower than you. You think that black women are lower than you, and therefore you want to bully them. Like I said before in another video, when y'all talk about accountability, that's not what you're actually looking for. You're looking for indefinite suffering. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for the women to acknowledge what they did wrong and work to do better. Because when they do that, you still tell them, I don't really care that you try to do better with your life. You still deserve to suffer for the decision that you already made. So indefinite suffering is what you want. You believe the black woman's plight is to suffer, no matter what it is that she did that you don't agree with. So at that point, that's bullying. That's bullying, all right? And I got a real bad problem with the fact that you can make a meme like this for her, but I ain't seen no non-black woman get the same energy when it comes to the men that they done slept around with.
Okay, so I obviously think this entire take is ignorant, and there's a few reasons for it. The first obvious reason is the fact that it's actually not true. It's actually not true that Meg Thee Stallion is somehow being singled out for her different dating partners, and somehow Ariana Grande, Kim Kardashian, and especially Taylor Swift have a spotless, sanitized reputation. That's definitively not true, especially if you look at Taylor Swift. I mean, there's been not only memes about Taylor Swift, but there have been countless articles. I mean, you've had major media platforms that have talked about her dating history, talked about the way that she's actually been slut shamed, who have highlighted the ways in which she's being shamed. So that's just absolutely not true. But what's so incredibly fascinating to me about this whole Klay Thompson, Meg Thee Stallion situation is the way in which it's triggered women. Like, there are so many women who appear to be really mad or upset about this. And I'm like, for me to go full-blown misandry, because let it be clear, this rant that she just had and the conclusion that she came to is very misandrous in my opinion. Like, and to die on that hill with Meg Thee Stallion, with a woman who has had different songs talking about being the other woman who has actively promoted cheating in her brand, in her content, in her music, in her art, like, to die on that hill, you know what I mean? To try to make it seem as if she's being uniquely targeted. when she doesn't have the cleanest history herself and is literally experiencing exactly what she has talked about in her own music and promoted in her own brand. So me personally, this is just not this is not the battle that I would choose to fight. But nevertheless, I do want to address a few other points that she made. So let's also acknowledge the obvious fact that this content creator appears to be incredibly triggered. And we know this because the conclusion that she came to is not connected to really any facts and somehow has really nothing to do with what's going on. But here's one thing that I have noticed. And I'm not going to say this is every Black woman, but I do think this applies to, a good amount. So whenever, the reason I think that there's some Black women who are so triggered by this particular breakup is because Klay Thompson is light-skinned. And this may sound crazy, but Klay Thompson is light-skinned. He's very attractive and he has close proximity to whiteness. And that is something that the ladies out there very, 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 very much value. They value it. And so there's something really, really, really jarring about a white man or someone who appears to be white or has close proximity to whiteness, turning down or in some ways rejecting a Black woman. And I think that's why there's to a certain extent, there is such a deep, vitriolic reaction we're seeing the ladies have. To me, we shouldn't be having this conversation at this point. We should have done moved on. But here we are, days into it, still talking about the same thing. And ladies are still, they're using this now as a way to come to all conclusions about how Black men hate Black women. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean Black men hate Black women? I thought Klay Thompson was a biracial. I thought he was exotic. I thought he didn't count. Right? But I'm like, when it comes to blaming Black men, then the one drop rule applies. But nevertheless, my point is, somebody's just gone a little cuckoo, in my opinion, or they're going way off the deep end over a freaking celebrity breakup. And for all we know, this could be a whole PR stunt. This could have been completely planned 2 years ago, for all we know. But just my point is, the fact that you all you needed was a celebrity relationship to come to the conclusion that Black men hate Black women, to me actually shows that there were some deeper things going on. There were already issues brewing under the surface, and this just became a reason to ultimately come to the conclusions that you likely already had, or at least were flirting with. And she even said, she even mentioned it in her video, right, where she was like, yeah, I was trying to believe that Black men loved us, but when I saw the way that these Black men did these things, now I believe it, and y'all just want Black women to suffer, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, wait, first of all, we don't even know if Black men made this meme. You decided that whatever meme that you're referencing was made by a Black man. We don't know that it was. For all we know, this could have been a white dude. Because let it be clear, white folks are big consumers of rap music. This could have been the same dude that made the memes for all the other celebrities that you think don't have memes. Right? So we can't even attribute that particular meme to Black men. But another thing that I think we're forgetting about this conversation when she's trying to compare Meg Thee Stallion to these other races of women. The reason Black men aren't out there going out and roasting Taylor Swift is because they're not paying attention to Taylor Swift. They don't care about her. That's not their community. That's not the kind of women Black men collectively are into. That's not the music they listen to. You won't find Black men going around bumping Taylor Swift. Black men don't care about no Taylor Swift. The only reason they were talking about her at some point was because of the whole Kayla Nicole situation, another Black woman, right? And because of the drama associated with that. But by and large, Black men aren't going around trying to protect her image, trying to sanitize her image. They don't care about who she dates. They don't really care about her. Black men are really the most interested in Black women. That's also why they criticize them the most, because those are the ones that they're the most sexually attracted to. And those are the ones that they're still in community with by and large. Now, Kim Kardashian, no, Black men were definitely roasting Kim Kardashian. And that, again, that's because she was dating and consistently dating Black men. Now, the difference, though, between Kim Kardashian and Meg Thee Stallion is that Kim Kardashian, in spite of her reputation that she still has, by the way, actually has done some things to invest in the lives of Black men, right? I mean, starting with Kanye West. She invested millions of dollars in him when he was broke and struggling in his business, evidently, right? And then also, not to mention that she was involved in projects that was about trying to get innocent Black men exonerated, those who were behind bars innocently. So she's actually done positive things for black men that cannot be overstated. Meg Thee Stallion, on the other hand, has a history of putting black men like Tory Lanez in jail. And this is after there's been tons of evidence to show that there is a lot of lying, and that the whole and this is after this is after there's been tons of evidence to suggest that Tory Lanez was not completely guilty and Meg Thee Stallion was not totally innocent, right? And that's not to mention, she's done and said things that have been very misandrous, like the recent music video she did last year where she was literally dancing on the graves of black men, like literally. And so Meg Thee Stallion's reputation with black men, it ain't been perfect either. And like she mentioned, Ariana Grande, all these other people, like I said, they've been roasted too. But see, here's the difference between Meg Thee Stallion and all these other people she called out. The difference is her image, her brand, what she represents. Meg Thee Stallion is the one that did a song called WAP. She's the one where a lot of her songs are like low-key, high-key, soft corn. You know what I mean? Like, her entire image is like city girl, promiscuous. She basically promotes using her kitty cat as a way to dominate men, dominate situations, be in control, have power. She does not promote a clean image. Where on the other hand, Ariana Grande, she's in Disney. Taylor Swift, half the time her songs are being played in churches even, and at high school. She has preteens and little girls who love her music. Essentially, these non-black women that she compared Meg Thee Stallion to, their brand is just a lot cleaner. Listen, even Kim Kardashian, with her tape in her past, she's still done things that have been more aligned with conservative values, even down to marrying somebody. And I'm not saying that she is. Like, she's done some crazy stuff too, but I'm saying she got married, she had some kids. Like, so all of their images, every single person that she compared to, although they themselves have faced scrutiny from the media, their overall brand, their overall image, like who they are to the public, is just cleaner. None of them have songs talking about WAP, okay? And none of them have songs that are actively and consistently promoting dominating men and women through their WAP. You know what I mean? That's not their brand. So again, for men to react to a celebrity like Meg Thee Stallion, who essentially promotes hoe culture, and men to come to the conclusion that, like, hey, yeah, somebody who promotes hoe culture is likely to have the results associated with being a hoe. Like, to me, that's not racism. This is not systematic racism. This is not, okay, you must hate your mama because your mama black, you must hate all black women. This is not a conspiratorial. To me, this is just like the laws of reaping and sowing, unfortunately. I am not saying that Meg Thee Stallion, that she should have been cheated on. And again, we're all assuming this is all true because we ain't heard from Klay Thompson. We don't even know if this whole relationship is completely true or fabricated. But assuming everything that she said was true, I'm not saying that she necessarily deserved it, but unfortunately, her whole brand is consistent with what she's experiencing. You can't valorize cheating and do all this artistry to basically promote sexual promiscuity and then be mad or surprised when you get in a situation where the person you're with is sexually promiscuous. That's the energy that you're putting out. So therefore, that's the energy that you're attracting. And I also think, like, there's some women, we saw this with the video at the beginning, they, for some reason, they want to separate consequences from WAP. They want to separate the natural consequences associated with women going around being 3 or 4s. And here's the thing. If you want to be a 3 or 4, we live in a society where you absolutely have the right to do that. And women are always going to defend the right to be able to act like a hoe if they want to. That's on them. But I don't have to sit here and lie to you and pretend like there are not consequences. And we also don't have to sit here and lie and pretend like you're not going to be judged accordingly. I don't promote hoe culture. I don't promote WAP. I don't listen to Meg Thee Stallion. You know what I mean? She doesn't resonate with me. Now if you do want to do that, if that does resonate with you, okay, that's your choice. But like I said, the laws of reaping and sowing, to me, they're always in effect. And so, as I said, unfortunately, the energy you put out is unfortunately sometimes the energy that you attract. And that's why a lot of guys were looking at this, and even some women, and they're just like, this is actually not surprising when you consider, first of all, the whole industry, when you consider even Klay Thompson's, history, and just the kind of energy that's being put out. It's not surprising. It's not to say that it was deserved, but it's not surprising. And this does not mean that black men hate black women just because they have the audacity, okay, to acknowledge basic common sense. That's just my opinion, y'all. But what do y'all think about this whole thing? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later, okay? Bye.